Alright there, 019, BBI's #1 soldier in the grass. I have your decked out radios. I'm pretty sure it's going to be difficult for me to remember every option that's on here because I'm pretty sure you have every single option that I offer. You might could say the not having the variable bass because we've got selectable bass instead, so maybe, that's the only thing I could say that I offer that you don't have, but it's not necessary. So anyway, basically this radio here is the 655. This is the monitor radio for your transmitting radio. The 655 has a full tune out, it has a Hifi Recieve done, and then a filter upgrade. That's all that's been done to it, because it's just going to be a monitor radio to where you can monitor your main radio over the air. The purpose of having a monitor radio is, one, is you can dial in your settings to the way that you want with your specific voice over the air. Too many people get caught up on equipment and theory and everything else, and they forget about this is communications and the way that you sound, and that's what everybody else is hearing. Having a monitor is very ideal for anybody that's serious about a good sounding base station. Having a monitor radio where you can set your radio properly to your voice and mix it with all types of different amplifiers and still sound great is important. But anyway, I've already got the volume at a decent little level here for monitoring. I do not have a dual setup. I'll have to look back at his list to see if he wanted me to build one, but I can build a dual adapter that you can have a splitter where you can have headphones and listen at the same time as recording. Right now I'm not listening to my audio, I'm only going to be recording the audio. So let's move over to the 955 and let me see if I can remember these options. I've got a full tune out. I've got an upgraded echo board that has been modified. That echo board is modded to pass more bandwidth and fullness, like kind of like hi-fi to the echo itself. Because your voice has to pass through that chain on the board, and any limitation to that chain is a limitation to the fullness of the bandwidth. We have the echo board set perfect on the inside and heat shrunken down. We have upgraded finals. We have Hifi Transmit. We have Hifi Recieve with a filter upgrade. I have on the side, I can go to the side here, I have a variable treble control. So you roll it to the left, it's going to roll your treble down. If you're trying to achieve like more of a smooth, super bassy sound, it's already really bassy. And then roll this all the way up for the most clarity and punch and all that good stuff. I suggest wide open, generally most all the time. I have a selectable bass adjustment on here, 3-position selectable bass. On that selectable bass, the center position is going to be for like studio microphone, something that's really bassy. It can still work for like a 636 or something like that, that still has a lot of bass to it. But it's going to be for like a studio microphone, to where the bass is not overloaded. The bottom position is going to be set up for a modded D104 that I set up for you. And then the top position is going to be for the modified 878 bass microphone. On the right side here, we have a variable peak control, which is the first control here closest to me. All the way up is wide open, of course, and all the way to the left, all the way down is the least amount of PEP output. This PEP power is individual of the carrier or modulation, other than envelope growth. If you key 1 and swing to 50, of course it's going to be distorted, so you want to keep everything in proportion. The back control here is for the average output. So say if you're running a big box and you're doing 5,000 average watts, you can roll this all the way down and make it stand straight up and down at 5,000, or possibly even twitch backwards a hair, or roll this up and make it swing all the way forward to 10,000 from 5,000, depending on what box it is or whatever you're running. It just gives you control of your average output without changing the carrier or audio. That is an individual control. And now, of course, a lot of bird numbers can start to, there might be a couple percentage change in the voice, pretty negligible overall. Other than that, we have a lot more I have on the center position here, where we always put them, is our MP3 with line level recording. So this center plug here is going to plug into your phone. So I have that piece, it's ferrited, and I have an adapter that I can plug in to my phone here. On the left side, this other jack is for the monitor setup. So it has a cord that goes from here on the left side and is going to move over to the external speaker jack off of the monitor radio. So sampling your audio off of another receiver to get a true recording of yourself over the air. So whenever you key the microphone, it swaps this line level recording setup from recording the receiver on here to recording the receiver off of here with a relay, and then it automatically does that for you. So you plug into one cable, you get their side of the conversation line level, and you get your voice line level from another receiver. So it's a true recording of both sides. On top of all that, we have another jack back here on the bottom, and that is a external S meter hookup. So you plug in, a little external S meter like so, and plug it in there, and it's going to register your signal. I'm not going to demonstrate that because I got enough cords plugged in and enough to show already. The bottom switch back here, you flip that up, that's the Vfo wind up mod with it in the up position there. So let me flip it back down, and that's going to be Vfo off. So Vfo off with it down, Vfo on with it up. Other than that, we've also got a 5-band internal equalizer that is also preset perfect on the inside. I'm trying to think if I'm missing any type of options. I've got the 2 microphones that you're getting from me. I've got a nice stress relief on them and a ferrite. And I've also, done that with both. Both of these microphones are modified. They are not stock. And they're the 2 best microphones that I can put together and set up. I like them over studio microphones because studio microphones rob from your presence and your punch. All right, so I believe I've got everything listed out to the best of my memory here. If I'm not missing any of my own options, I think we got everything. All right, so we will start with just showing our carrier control to see what you can go up and down to. So let me go to a 20-watt scale here, and let me go ahead and cut this all the way down right there, and we'll see what we're keying. Looks like a third of a watt, maybe. Even a third of a watt is still clean on the spectrum analyzer, like we want it to be. I'm going to take this carrier adjustment, and I'm going to roll it all the way up. Sorry, it's my air compressor back there. All right, so this adjustment is all the way open on the carrier now, and we'll see what we have. We got about a 17-watt carrier, roughly, maybe just a touch over 17. So now I'm going to modulate it, and let me go ahead and make sure this is all the way up. That's my treble here. Bass is in the top position. These are wide open here, and I'm going to take my carrier control, and it's wide open too. Gains at about 230, which is where I set it for both microphones. Just left a little bit of headroom in case you're more soft-spoken than me. You got enough to fully modulate and get to the level that you like. And that is what a mic gain is for, to control the gain of your voice. If it's wide open all the time, it is no control. All right, so let me go ahead and go to 200-watt scale here on the Dosi. We'll go ahead and modulate it. And we're modulating to about 133, 134 or so, something like that. Looks good on the spectrum analyzer. Output on the LP showing 162, 160. This is a hot one. Very, very good numbers. It might be a little better than 135 there. All right, so now I'm going to take and cut this carrier all the way down here to that 1/4 of a watt or 1/3 of a watt, whatever it was. And then I'm going to take my bird average, and I'm going to cut it all the way down too. And I'm going to take my variable peak, and I'm going to cut it all the way down. So everything all the way down as low as it can go. Now I'm going to go to a 20-watt scale, and we're going to modulate it. And we are modulated down to 12 watts. So we can get all the way down to, well, about 13 watts actually. We can get all the way down to 13 watts PEP if you bottom everything out. If I roll up just the dial bird right here, it's going to raise up that PP to 18. And then if I take the PP control and I walk it up, you can see it'll go to any number that you need and be smooth as butter anywhere you need to go. There you go. So, all right, that gave an example of our PEP and our average output control. They're both working, both doing well. Treble's all the way up. Let me see if I'm missing anything right now of what I'm supposed to be showing here. I believe that's it. So let me go ahead and I'm going to plug into the D104 first. And let's see what we got. And I'll start in the middle position on the bass. So it's going to be, you know, not very bassy at all. You know, it's going to be set up for like a studio microphone in this middle position. By the way, on this 3 position, if I haven't already mentioned, middle positions for studio mic, bottom position it is for the modified D104, and top position is for the 878. And specifically with your audio chain, I went for more bass because you asked for a lot of extra bass on the headroom to mix with your voice. You wanted it, you know, as bassy as I could make it there for you. So top position for the 878 bass microphone, bottom position for the D104 handheld microphone, center position for studio. I'm going to start in the center position, which will be not nearly as much bass, and we'll kind of give an example there first. So me taking unplug, actually I already had it plugged in, I'm sorry. So we plug that back in. And we've got our handheld D104. I'm going to plug into my line level. And see, this is my line level coming out of here. Normally, for me to be able to take a recording, y'all would have to see me hook my line level from my monitor radio to be able to sample the audio over here. But this one has the relay built in. So as soon as I key this microphone, it's automatically going to sample over here to this other monitor radio, which, you know, both of these radios are Lees. All right, so let me go ahead and plug in right here, and we'll go ahead and test the D104 first.
All right, so right now I've got it in the center position right here, and you can hear it's you know, like more tinny and stuff like that, you know, because it's doesn't have the bass boost engaged. It's rolled off right there. So let me go ahead and flip the switch. All right, right there I flipped the switch, and I'm kind of letting you hear how it sounds out here in the world of sound. I'm picking it up off of this monitor radio over here. I hope I'm not bumping none of my settings here. But anyway, I'm picking up the audio over the monitor radio with this handheld D104 microphone. And we'll see what's going down there, Breaker. All right, so now let me unplug this D104 and plug in the 878. All right, there we go. I got the 878 base station microphone plugged in for BBI's #1 soldier in the Minigrass. Checking out this dub plucking thing with this base station microphone, nothing but a D-Rail modified 878 microphone. We'll check it out, see what is going down. Oh, that's over 70 bird. Look at that, 100-watt slug. Over 130 peak and 70 average. But anyway, this is the 878 base station microphone, and I'm going to give one more example. As soon as I unkey, you'll hear my receive tone that's injected into the receiver. Watch this. So you can hear the ring from the tone injected in my receiver there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to go ahead and flip everything over to on the air. Well, maybe we'll go to 6 or 19 or something like that and see what's going on.
So I'm going to unplug so I don't have to stay plugged into the line level too long here and confuse anybody. So I'm going to go over here to my switch here, and I'm going to flip over to air. And now we got that flipped up. I'm going to see if we can, see if we got any skip rolling or. Somebody talking on 3. Looks like it's pretty. It looks like it's pretty faint. I may just go to channel 19 or something, get a radio check. No, it looks like they got some. Looks like they got some rough, traffic stuff going on. So we'll get on here and get a quick check, but I don't want to stay on here and bother them too much. All right, so I'm going to plug in. We're going to be testing with the 878 microphone. I'm going to make sure all my stuff is all the way up. All right. Let me plug in right here.
Somebody give me a radio check.
It's working.
Yeah, right, John, the working. Does it sound like I need to do anything else this thing, or just leave it alone?
I'd leave it alone. I'm on my way up here to Scale House.
Okay, yeah, right, John, that. Yeah, you're about 7-8 miles from me, so everything sounded good on your end then.
10.
410 on that. All right, I just finished up this thing for a guy that's out there in Hawaii. He was fixing to get ready to pack it up and send it out. Just want to make sure it's all right and ready to go before I put it back together.
Quarter mile to your left there. Make your hard right. And just follow parallel. And it'll...
All right, y'all be careful out there and truck safe. Derail 164 is out.
Well, I forgot that new generation of truck drivers out there. It's the young folks.
They're awful quiet right now, focused on traffic and all this rain, rough weather we've been having. But anyway, hopefully I was thorough enough and gave an example of everything that's going on here, and it'll make it easy for Mr. Lee when he gets to hook it all up and know how to run everything. I just cut this volume down, but you're just going to run that wherever it's comfortable. This will give you kind of a reference to the monitor volume. It does not take much. You just need just a little bit of volume to pick up your voice, properly there. But anyway, I appreciate you, Lee. Sorry if I missed anything in the video, and I can't wait to hear that bad to the bone setup for BBI's #1 soldier in the Mini. Take care, Lee. I'll see you.